Hi there folks, my name's NovaWing24 and welcome to the NovaWrap, your one-stop location for your simulation release news and goings on from the week that was. So here we are on Sunday the 6th of August 2017 for another roundup this week, and we're going to jump straight into it, which with what I think is possibly the most long-awaited release in the flight simulation world ever. And of course, I am referring to the Aerosoft's long-awaited, long-rumored, long-thought-to-be vaporware CRJ 700-900X. Now, literally, in the time that this has been in development, we have seen FSX come to Steam Edition. We have seen Prepared go to version 2, 3, and 4, and Flight Sim World get released and Flight School get released and pulled back. Like, we have seen so much happen in the simulation space before this has been released, like in the time between when it was announced and when it's been released. It's insane. Anyway, but it is finally here. Is it worth the wait? You know what? It looks pretty damn impressive. It really does. Look, I kind of like the I've always liked Aerosoft because their in-house production stuff has always been very, very high quality, and this looks to be no exception. Complete with beautifully high detailed modeling of the external and interior of the aircraft. A lot of animations, a lot of detail, even like the way the flaps and the spoilers deploy. Like, there's a lot of details going through here. A great deal of care has been taken to actually model the flight management system and the MCDU, and the way it functions in the sim as well. Full beautiful detailing of the interior. Sound set provided by Turbine Sound Systems, which of course, you know, the industry standard for sound for the flight sim world. The heads-up display system has been fully integrated as well, and a fully functional RAS system has been provided by FS2 crew for this as well. So as I said, it's detailed, it's amazing, it looks incredible. Also fully compatible with Prepared version 4's dynamic lighting as well. So there's a lot of stuff that's gone here, a lot of documentation included in this one here. You also get 26 liveries of this one, so 13 each for the 700 and the 900 series. And as I said, incredibly high detail, designed for the simmer. And the other part that I'm really impressed about is the price. It's actually, now, you'd think if something that this got into this detail, especially with this long-winded production, you'd be expecting to see this, you know, in the sort of, you know, $80, $90 range. It's come in at $50 US, which really, for the quality and the detail and the amount of development and production that's gone into this add-on, is really outstanding. So yeah, there you go. I still haven't got my hands on it. I'm hoping to get my hands on a copy sometime in the near future. But from everybody that I'm talking to that has got a copy of it, they are absolutely loving it, and they are telling me that it is worth the wait. So I'd love to hear your thoughts if it was worth the wait for you. It is now available from Aerosoft directly, or from your favorite flight sim retailer. Just so you're aware, the disc edition version of it, so the download version of it is available now. The disc edition version is not available yet. It will not be released until late September, so just be aware of that. But as I said, available now from the Aerosoft store. Alrighty, in other FSX and EP3 or ESP platform releases this week, the guys over at Turbulent Designs are back again with another airport. So they are here this week with KIDA, or Idaho Falls Regional Airport. So this is a regional destination airport that provides a lot of tourist information, a lot of tourist destination services, including to Yellowstone National Park and Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and Sun Valley in Idaho as well, are all serviced through this airport. This is a beautifully highly detailed representation. Turbulent Design guys, they've been sort of kicking around. They sort of do stuff for other developers for a while, and only recently, in the last sort of year or so, struck out on their own. Excuse me. They're producing some really high quality stuff. So this one, you get 11 square kilometers of beautifully high detail scenery, including up to 60 centimeter photoreal scenery display, as well as custom autogen included as well. Fully compatible with the full ESP range as well, so including FSX and all the way through to Prepared version 4, including Prepared version 4 dynamic lighting. Fully compatible with SODE and gateways, and it's real Flora setups as well. So looking kind of impressive, kind of cool. As I said, If you're looking for somewhere a little bit different to go to, Turbulent Design is one of the developers for you to go to because they always do some really sort of slightly different airports. So there you go. As I said, available now from their website or from your favorite flight sim retailer, coming in at around about $25 US. Available now from Turbulent Designs. Alrighty, in other release news this week. So probably more some update. Well, actually, this is a bit of a hybrid update slash release news. So FlightOne software, one of their key sellers for many years has been their GTN 750 and 650 in cockpit sort of GPS and PFD sort of information. Now, they've sort of prided themselves on the accuracy and the detail that they've gone into for these products, and they've been selling them for a number of years. As I said, it started off with FSX and moved slowly into prepared compatibility. What they've done now with they're bringing it into, as they've brought it in line with prepared version 4, they've actually done something which I'm kind of surprised they haven't done before, which is they've actually brought out a complete edition, which allows you to purchase as one purchase price instead of having to purchase a separate purchase for the GTN 750 and a separate purchase again for the 650, and then a separate purchase for, depending on the sim you want to use, whether you wanted to use it for FSX or prepared, and sort of end up with license keys going all over the place. Instead, what they're offering now is a complete edition where you pay one price, one detail, and it's an all-in-one package now. So you get it across all the ESP range, and you get both GTN 750 and 650 included with their beautiful high detail functionality and all the functionality included, along with a whole heap of in-flight charts and safe taxi runway information charts, all fully included with this as well. So it's, as I said, it's a move that it's surprised me that it's taken them so long to actually do, because I've always felt that they've kind of ripped everybody off a little bit with not doing it. But anyway, they've finally done it now. Now here's the big winners out of this though. Here's the big winners. If you purchased any of the GTN 750 or 650 between the 30th of May, I believe. Let me just double check the date on that. Yes, on or after May 30th this year, 2017, you get the free upgrade to the full complete edition. So if you timed it perfectly and bought it in the last sort of few months, even if you only purchase one of these, you get the full set upgraded. Simply log in, contact their support system, and they'll reissue with a key to get everything that you need. If you have previously purchased any of the products prior to the 30th of May this year, then you will get an upgrade coupon for $20 to enable you to upgrade to the full version. So again, even if you only purchased one of the 650 or 750 and only for one sim, you can now upgrade to get the full lot. If, however, you've purchased everything and you can still get a free update, you just got to contact the support desk. So there you go. Good to see that they are supporting sort of people who have previously purchased. But as I said, I'm just still incredibly surprised it's taken this long for them to actually come out and do it. Anyway, so yes, but if you haven't picked this up already and you do want to pick it up and you do want to add these gauges to your aircraft, well, no matter what your ESP platform's in, it is available now to purchase from FlightOne software for $65 or your regional equivalent, available now. Alrighty, in other release, and again, release update sort of information. So the guys over at NineTwo Productions. So NineTwo Productions are a freeware sort of series of developers with a passion for flight simulation. Now, what they are most famous for is their Free Mesh X series. So essentially, Terrain Mesh is, now I've talked about this in a previous episode when we talked about the Pilot software releasing their mesh as well, but Terrain Mesh essentially is how pointy the mountains are, how deep valleys are, how high things are above and below sea level. So kind of really important, and the Terrain Mesh that ships with as default as part of the ESP platforms isn't that good especially outside of the US. It's really not that good. Continental US is the lower 48's not too bad. The rest of the world, forget it. It's horrendous, particularly Australia. It is absolutely horrendous. It really is. Terrain Mesh, it allows you to fix that. Now, previously, there has been some freeware stuff sort of that you can cobble together that you can get of mixed quality. NineTwo Productions have been there with their FreeMesh X Global has been pretty much the leaders in providing freeware versions, as much as Pilots is the leader in providing payware version. They've reissued their FreeMesh X Global as version 2.0 this time around with bringing it up to LOD 10, so level of detail 10 for most of the world, and where possible, or LOD 9 if that was not possible. They brought it around. They've also now included an installer. Previously, it was a manual installation, which could be quite messy, but they have now provided a full installer with this time as well, which is really cool and makes things a lot easier for those who might be technically challenged. The only concern that I have with this, as I said, the product is free, so you really can't go wrong with free. The only concern I have is that they do not appear to have an airport elevation correction tool. Now, the only reason why I bring that up, and as I said, I've gone through their website and the information, and I can't seem to find anything about it. It may be there, and if it is, I do apologise. Please let me know, and I will correct this. But as I said, from what I can tell, it is not there. Now, why is that important or not important? Basically, what it will do is that this will put the correct elevation of a piece of terrain. My favourite example that I always use is Norfolk Island, which is just off the shore of Australia, between Australia and New Zealand. In default ESP platform, it's modelled as flat at sea level, which is completely wrong. And therefore, accordingly, also the airport is modelled at 0 meters, like at sea level. You put some terrain mesh in without an airport elevation correction tool, you'll have the island at the correct altitude, but then in the middle of the island where the airport is, it suddenly plummets into this deep valley back down to sea level. Which, as I said, an airport elevation correction tool, which is automatic for Orbitz, and Pilots to include theirs as a separate tool for theirs once you register with their website. It's a free tool that they include there for that one. You can manipulate that to actually bring it up to the correct one. So, as I said, it's just a little concerning with that. Hopefully, as I said, they look at fixing that, or maybe they've got some fancy way of fixing that. I don't know. But as I said, it's just something to be aware of if you choose to go down the free mesh path. For anyone who has used the free mesh X, if there is a workaround for this, or if the guys over at NineTwo Productions, if you see this and you do have a way around it, please let me know. I'd love to know. I'd love to hear about it. But there you go. As I said, this is available now for the price of free from the NineTwo Pro website. I will put the link in the description down below. Alrighty, in other release news announcements this week, the guys over at Orbitz have announced and confirmed that their entire catalogue of scenery is now fully compatible with Lockheed Martin's prepared version 4. So that's been something that's been long awaited. Now, there is a caveat on this, however, is that technically speaking, object flow is still not compatible. However, they are trialing the latest version of it, which they have dubbed Object Flow 2. Now, that is currently in open beta. Now, the only thing about that is that if you do wish to get your object flow, which is what gives the people moving around, the animals, the extra sort of bits of atmosphere that come with the Orbitz airports, you do need to register your account as being a part of the Fast Lane project, which essentially is their beta their beta tree. So just be aware of that. There is a link, I'll put a link in the description down below for all the information from the Orbitz forums for you to see how you can actually set yourself up to do that. So there you go. That's as I said, Object Flow 2 is only for use in prepared version 4. F6 Sim Edition and prepared version 1 through 3 will continue to use the original Object Flow. So there you go. And all the information is included in the link down below. Enjoy! Alrighty, and continuing on with other releases for the F6 and ESP platform. This one to F6 Steam Edition. So we saw another re-release for Steam Edition. We haven't seen a Steam Edition re-release for a little while, but we saw one this week. So this week we saw the Just Flight DC3 get a release on F6 Steam Edition. So look, I'll be honest, I've got mixed feelings about this. This release is kind of dated. This was released, Just Flight released this package about 2010, 2011, I want to say. So it's getting a little long in the tooth. And it really shows. It really shows. Don't get me wrong, it's got a couple of fairly unique models in here, most significantly being the AC-47 gunship of Vietnam era days. And it does sort of do the differences, the subtle internal differences between the military version, the C-47, and the civilian passenger airliner version, the DC-3. It does actually sort of do the internal differences of that. So yeah, the internal wise, it's quite well modeled. But as I said, it's as a package is getting a little long in the tooth, and I'm a little surprised that it's got a price tag that makes it look like it's a new release. So I'm a little surprised by that. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, it's $25 on Steam, with a lot of the liveries removed and sort of sanitized. Unfortunately, a branding again, as we see a lot of the F6 Steam editions. Look, if you really want to fly a DC-3 or a C-47 in FSX Steam Edition or Prepared or anything, honestly, grab yourself Manfred Yann's C-47. Honestly, like, that thing is incredibly well modeled and detailed and insanely real, yeah, as close to realistic I think you can get, and it's freeware. Not gonna lie on that one, but hey, as I said, unfortunately, however you want to look at it, the Just Flight version seems to be the only one that I can really find that is the AC, that has the AC-47 gunship version, and it does throw in a Waco glider in there as well for a bit of extras. So there you go. Anyway, as I said, if you do want to grab this one, this is available exclusively. This is available for F6 Steam Edition for $25, or if you want it for Prepared or F6 Boxed, you can pick it up from the Just Flight website for a similar price, available now. Alrighty, moving away from the ESP world now, moving into the world of X-Plane. So we saw a couple of releases this week. Again, we saw actually, they're both sort of update releases. So we saw this week the guys over at Funner Flight have rebooted their Los Angeles International with their version 2, and this one is coming out now. So it's coming out for around about $25. Interestingly enough, so this one has been released both directly, so been both released through Aerosoft's website and also available through Steam. So it's actually a dual, they've actually simultaneously released instead of sort of staggering the release. Why should you buy one or the other over the other? Well, it just depends, but as I said, the Steam Edition version is exactly the same price. Coming in will install directly into your X-Plane 11. It's only available for X-Plane 11 on Steam Edition. If you are somebody who uses both X-Plane 10 and 11 and possibly wants to future-proof yourself for X-Plane 12, if it shares any of the same common libraries, then you may want to consider buying this one from Aerosoft instead, or from your favorite flight sim retailer. But as I said, what have they done to it? Really, they've added in a whole heap of animations for the airport and the surrounding area, including some little customized ground traffic as well, for aircraft, buses, ground handling equipment, as well as a whole set of new environmental trees, environmental effects, and an updated version layout of the airport to how it appears at the end of 2016. So a whole heap of new, as I said, new updates for this one. And a lot of stuff compatible with marginal safegate docking system as well. So over 20 square miles of aerial photography has been included here, as well as HD resolution photo reel of up to 30 centimeter resolution. So not looking too bad. Night lighting is probably the best thing about it. Again, like I think is one of the big things about X-Plane is that the night lighting does look amazing. But as I said, available now if you do want to relive some KLAX experiences. Having spent a lot of time there myself, possibly should try flying there in and out of there as something other than a passenger. That could be cool. Anyway, as I said, available now, coming in $25 or your original equivalent, available now. In another X-Plane 11 update this week, we saw the release for a Boeing 707. So this one is a release. Again, it was released earlier this year, but they've actually just done a major update on it for X-Plane 11. So they've completely redesigned the modeling for X-Plane 11. They've also included an additional variant as well. The 707-320 has now been included. So originally it was just the 420 was in there with the early for the 707, but now they've included the 320 version as well. Great, well, a lot of more details been paid to the flight model. They've essentially redone the flight model actually. They've also got a lot more inlet doors and a lot more higher detailing has been done on the turbojet engines. Remember, this is in the days before turbofans. These were turbojet engines, not turbofans. So a lot more detailing has been going on the a lot more details about the reverse thrusting being deployed as well. A bit of an avionics overhaul and night lighting update has been done as well. So this one's available now from the X-Plane store, coming in at $30 US or your original equivalent. Available now. Alrighty, moving away now from the flight simulation world. Well, kind of moving away from the flight simulation world. So this is an interesting one. So this is called Delta Plan Simulator. I'm not 100% sure how simulation comes into this one, but essentially you are taking on the you are flying gliding in a Delta Plan hang glider, and you go through a series of different terrains. You go through doing some 6 different landscapes, doing a few challenges, including flying through certain checkpoints, doing maneuvers and things like that, and just be very careful, make sure you catch thermals, otherwise you will lose lift and run into the ground. Possibly more of an arcade style thing with a price tag to match, but graphically it's looking pretty damn beautiful. It really does. So for $5, for $5 to test your graphics card, it probably wouldn't be bad for that. But yeah, something a little bit different, a little bit quirky. I was expecting this to be in VR, but it's not, which is actually good because not everybody has VR. So this is kind of cool and very interesting take on the physics genre. So yes, if this does tickle your fancy and want to do a bit of the hang gliding experience, pick this one up now. Available on Steam for $5 price of a cup of coffee. Available now on Steam. Alrighty, moving now onto ground level and onto the permanent way. So we saw another addition to the Train Simulator Pro series this week. So the Pro range, so this one we saw the Deutsche Bahnhof BR642 diesel train get added to this one. These are fairly modern trains. So this comes from developer RSSLO. So they sort of specialize in doing the very high-end, sort of very detailed sort of options for this one. And this one comes in as a late, as I said, it's a current part of the current fleet. It came in sort of in the early 2000s. Now this is a combination diesel-electric unit. With a diesel engine under the floor and behind each cab as well, but it's it's designed to get it's up to speed very fast. So it's a very sort of powerful train because it's both be able to get up to speed fast and it's got to be able to get slow down very quickly as well. And so yeah, it's very interesting design, but it went through a lot of. It has a very sort of checkered history when it comes to its engineering design, because it was designed as sort of to be as a sort of a single unit, but it was also supposed to be designed to use multi-car sets as well. But sometimes it does work, sometimes it doesn't. But it's only, otherwise it's also mechanically wise, it also still shares a lot in combination with a BR643 as well. So interesting kind of scenarios for this one, looking kind of cool. Kind of interesting. As I said, it's a part of the Pro series, so it's a lot more detailed. It's not just a jump in and drive kind of one, because it does have a lot more of a detailing and realistic use of the safety system and the control system for this as well. So interesting use of this one. Now this one does come in with 3 career scenarios included with this one, but again, like we see with a lot of the Train Simulator world, it does require a separate add-on, route add-on to be used for this one. So if you have the Munich Gamschisch totally can't speak today. That route add-on. You can use the 3 career scenarios for this one. Otherwise, it is still fully compatible with Steam Workshop scenarios. You can actually still get it and free play mode as well. So yes, keep that in mind. And coming in for $20 US or your original equivalent, available now on Steam. Alrighty, sticking with ground level this week, and moving on to this time, sorry, to a distant future, as it were. So this is the Long Dark. Now this is a very interesting, sort of very stylized graphical survival slash simulation game. It basically takes a slightly different look at the natural disaster, end of the world, sort of doomsday apocalypse scenario. But instead of making it like big, there's a zombie apocalypse or it's atomic bombs and stuff going on, basically the world just got cold. And it's about you trying to survive and exploring the surroundings and basically not dying from what Mother Nature can throw you. So it's you, the cold, and Mother Nature. That's it. And really interesting with the way they're setting it out. It's laid out. It's a very interesting art style. It's probably not going to appeal to everybody. As I said, it's a lot more of a thought you against the environment kind of thing, but also you get an appreciation of the environment, the one that we still have. So it's probably sort of something for the thoughtful man's, man or woman's title. This one. What's also interesting is that they're doing this as a series. So the Long Dark is actually going to be a 5-episode series as part of this. This is season 1, so we may see other seasons depending on how the title goes. At the moment, they're planning season 1 with 5 episodes. So far, this is 2 episodes, episode 1 and episode 2. The full price of this now. They're not doing this as a per episode sort of installment payment. It is simply a one price. You get the entire series, which I really appreciate. I think that's a really good thought, and it's the only way they're selling it, which I kind of like. So yes, when you do pick it up, $35 and you do pick up the entire season, you will get the other parts as they get added in the future as they get developed. So at the moment it's part 1 and 2, and you'll see more as they get developed and released. So if this does look like the one for you, something a long, dark and thoughtful expansion for you, this could be something for you, and it's available now on Steam. Alrighty, and continuing on with something a little bit quirky and a little bit different. This is a VR release, a VR only release. So this is Tiny Town VR. Now, this is perplexing, but kind of cool. If you ever played with Lego when you were growing up, or you still enjoy building stuff out of Lego, this is going to be the title for you. Because this basically is, which is kind of like Minecraft really, but this is a bit more structured though. Essentially, this is Lego / Minecraft in virtual reality, and it's kind of cool, kind of awesome, and really affordable too. It's only $15, and I think it's a fascinating little title for VR. Seriously, so many good titles for VR coming out. I really need to get off my ass and actually get a VR headset. I really do. But anyway, in the meantime, this is looking kind of cool, kind of different. Basically, it's just you creating stuff. It's letting your imagination run wild, create stuff, and then things happen in your town or in your scenarios and places that you build. So, and yes, there is an airport for those of us who like aviation. So there you go. Really weird, really kind of cool, kind of bizarre. Set a scene, just add speech bubbles to make a story happen. It's like, as I said, it's like Lego playsets for in virtual reality. It's literally what it is, and it's kind of cool. Anyway, it appeals to my sense of warps and my warped sense of humor. If it also appeals to yours, you can pick this up now. $15. It's actually on a launch discount at the moment for 15% off. Otherwise, $15 available now on Steam. Alrighty, and rounding out the simulation release news for this week, we saw the release of Interplanetary Enhanced Edition. This is a quirky kind of title that I first saw watching Scott Manley on YouTube. Essentially, this is think Battleship, but between planets. Essentially, you target you're on your planet, and you shoot weapons of mass destruction at other planets in the solar system. That's pretty much it. Actually, that's kind of all. I was trying to think if there's anything else to it. Not really. That's pretty much it. It's a turn-based sort of strategy simulation game. It's got a lot of although it's sort of got this kind of weird stuff on the start on the top, there's a lot of physics and a lot of education actually going on underneath the surface. It's really kind of interesting. A lot of interesting little tactics going through here as well. So there is simulation and there's science elements in here, which is actually really interesting. So you can actually use gravity wells and curve things around planets to sort of hit things on the other side of the star and stuff like that. So a very interesting, weird kind of stuff going on. But as I said, it's a perplexing way of doing it, but it is kind of cool. Now, this is the enhanced edition. Essentially, they've done a fairly major overhaul of the original. And they've pulled the original from sale, and only selling this now. Yeah, it's kind of pretty standard. Includes online AI bots now, so you can play online or play online against AI. You've got, instead of circular orbits on rails, you can actually now have elliptical orbits of planets. Few different changes of targeting modes, buildings, balances, game fixes, all the general fixes, all the stuff, all the kind of stuff. Now, what's of interest that I can't find any information about is what happened if you own the original, whether the update to this is free or not. I'm trying to find out, and I couldn't find out if it is. Essentially, if you buy it now, the enhanced edition, you get a free copy of the original unaltered, like original title. I kind of hope, guys, that you are offering a free update to the people who had bought the original, because I kind of hope you did that. If you don't, then you should really think of doing that, because that's a bit of a shit move. But anyway, because essentially by their own admission, this is just a major patch. It's just such a big patch they wanted to make a title of it. So anyway, but yes, if you did have this title originally and you're moving to the enhanced edition, did you have to pay for it? Please let me know in the comments down below. But yes, that now rounds out the simulation release news for this week. If you do want to pick it up, it is available $15. But yes, that is available, and this does round out the simulation release news for this week. Thank you very much for joining me. Don't forget, as always, to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying these videos and want to see more. And of course, as always, you can catch up with me and all the things I'm up to between videos by finding me on Facebook and on Twitter. Just search NovaWing24. Alright folks, thanks very much for watching. Take care, safe skies to all, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.